Man, I really wish I knew how to play this. Coco is Pixar's newest film and is the second film from Pixar in 2017. And this one is about Miguel, who is a young boy living in Mexico who loves music, but it is banned from his family because they rather him work in the shoe business as they have for the past century. Miguel looks up to Ernesto de la Cruz, who is the greatest musician of all time. And one day, Miguel steals his guitar to enlist in the Day of the Dead musical competition, and after strumming his guitar, he is immediately transported into the world of the dead. And there he sees plenty of his dead ancestors and goes on a journey to get home by getting one of their blessings. So when I first saw the trailers for Coco, I was not impressed. I did not think this movie was going to be anything special. I thought it was going to be another one of those Good Dinosaurs or even Cars 3 movies. Nothing too great. But after seeing it over the weekend, guys, Coco is one of my favorite movies of the year. This one surprised me and blew me out of the water. I thought this movie was fantastic. Let's start off with the visuals. This is probably the best looking Pixar movie to date, right next to WALL-E. This movie is gorgeous. So many colors. They went through so much work to make this movie as good looking as it is. I have so much credit for these makers. This movie is beautiful and it is so well done with the visuals. I was so impressed. From just the visuals alone, this is a must-purchase Blu-ray. Going from a storytelling perspective, this movie touched me very deeply. This movie is layered throughout. There are themes about music. There are themes about family. This movie is flourished with themes. They're all over the place, and every one of them comes out at you. You grab onto this story from the start because of these themes and how deeply layered this movie is. And of course, like many Pixar movies, the characters here, they're well developed. I truly cared about every single character in this movie because they were all developed. They were all given a backstory. Since there's so many family members in this movie with Miguel, you're expected to think that you're not going to know who these people are, but thankfully they showed you who these characters were and how they relate to Miguel, and I have to give thanks for Pixar for doing that because otherwise I would have been lost on who's who. For the first half of this movie, I was really enjoying it, but then by the middle, towards the end, this movie was so good. And it comes down to the villain and the twists of this movie because they caught me off guard. I never expected to see some of the things that happened in this movie. They completely surprised me and it was unpredictable for the majority. I'm not going to spoil who the villain is in this movie, but it's probably my favorite Pixar villain since maybe Lotso from Toy Story 3 or even Syndrome from The Incredibles. This villain, I really thought they had a good backstory and a lot of motivation. I really thought the villain here was good. And when it came to some of the twists in this film, my mind was just, I never saw some of them coming, and I thought Pixar was so creative in how to tell this story. I thought it was all done so creatively and enthusiastically. I just love the direction this movie went in sometimes. It took risks, and they all paid off. And for once, we actually have music incorporated into a Pixar project. We've never seen a movie from Pixar with any music. A lot of Disney movies are musicals, and this is not a musical, but it has a lot of good songs, and it does, in a way, feel like a musical, even though it's really not. And I thought they did a good job in adding the music into the story, but didn't have an overdose of it. Like I said, I love the story with this movie. It caught me by surprise throughout this whole film. And also, of course, it's a Pixar movie. So I did, in a way, feel like crying because this one is a little bit of a tearjerker. Once again, Pixar really knows how to tug on your heartstrings. They do it once again with Coco. I just love this movie. I thought it was so good. I never expected this one to be as good as it was. Coco certainly is one of my favorites of the year so far. The only problem I have with this movie is that it does feel a little similar to a couple other installments we've had in the Pixar and Disney universe. You'll know what I'm talking about once you get to the ending of this movie. It just feels a little bit too similar, which is probably my only flaw with Coco. By the end of the movie, I was just blown away. I felt like crying. I thought Coco was a fantastic movie, easily one of the best movies of the year, and certainly probably the best animated movie of 2017. I just hope this movie wins the best animated feature at the Oscars this year. I'm gonna give Coco a 92%. This movie just blew me away on all levels. I never expected to see this movie go in the directions it went in. It's a beautiful looking movie and certainly one of the best of 2017 so far. Go check it out, whether it was with yourselves or with your kids. Everyone will love this movie. So I finally caught up on all my reviews, guys. It took me a little bit to get there, but I'm finally there. Get ready for more reviews and videos coming out over the next couple of weeks. If you're new to my channel, click that subscribe button and follow me on Twitter at SvenSulley and follow me on Snapchat at SvenMovies. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.